Hi folks, this is Dr. Taylor, and I'm so excited that we are finally into ATI. ATI is a vital component of this course, so I just want to give you a brief overview to be sure that we're all on the same page and you understand what's going on to make life a whole lot easier with less angst and stress. As you can see, I am actually on the home page. I'm in the student view. On the home page, it usually tells you activity that you've been engaged in, no pun intended. As you can see, I have been in each of these modules. I check them out, figure out what's going on, and it usually opens up to the last module that you were working on. So let's go to my ATI link. Here you go, right here. So when this opens up, it probably will open up to, oh, it didn't, good. So here in my ATI, you want to go to the Learn tab. In the Learn tab, are the Engage Fundamentals module. Now remember, the Engage Fundamentals is actually an interactive electronic textbook. So that makes it a little different than some of the other modules you'll be using. When you open this up, I really encourage you, if you haven't used the orientation video yet, go to the Getting Started video. It's only about 10 minutes. It is so important, and it's good. It really gives you a lot of great information. And then you would go to the Welcome to ATI Fundamentals walkthrough. And let's do that real quick, because believe it or not, it's that quick. It lets you know that this is more than just an online textbook, some other commercial PR. But when it is walking you through, it takes you to the page that I was on, and here we are. There's actually 40 modules. We don't use all 40 modules. I want to say something about that in a minute. It tells you that you can find the Engage Fundamentals on the Learn tab, and that's where you need to be, in the Learn tab. Now, we also use the Apply tab, but for this, you need the Learn tab. So let's go to the modules, as it's instructing us to do, and it will open up. So when it opens up, this is where you probably had some difficulty, because you have to use these drop downs. Okay, and it gives you these different lessons. As you can see, this is part of our first lesson. And also note that inside all these electronic resources, you'll find videos, animations, unfolding case studies. There will be exercises for you to review for NCLEX. One thing, we do not use the EHR Tutor right now. It's just another product that you have to buy. We have our own sources of documentation at this present time, so I don't want you to worry about the EHR Tutor. Well, let's push next and see what this has to say. Okay, so what this brought you to was an actual module, which is the Vital Signs module. Now, you can begin the lesson by clicking right into the module. For me, you'll see a lot of continue, because I was in a lot of these modules. Or you can just go right to the module and begin the test. So you can do whatever you want to do. There's no right or wrong. You're not going to do anything wrong. You're not going to knock yourself out of the module. So don't worry about anything like that. So let's go to next. This is telling you about what you see when you open each individual lesson. The lesson actually opens as a textbook. As a matter of fact, I think I had, let's open an official lesson in large screen view so you can see it. So under these nurse practice modules, let's go right into the first lesson that you were assigned to. And this is Nursing Foundations. So here you would click on the link, and this is a drop down for the chapters, just like a regular textbook. And you would just click on each one depending on what you wanted to do, if you wanted to go back to that particular chapter. Now, once you're in the chapters, you can go to the next page, or you can just, as you're reading it, you can scroll down. Now, I am in the Development of Nursing Profession chapter. So it's nice and colorful. It gives you lots of information. It even tests you along the way, whether they're multiple choice. You'll have videos, you'll have drop downs, all kinds of cool things. So let's go over to this side again. Let's bring this back up. Fundamental takeaways. Some of you like to look at the back of the book or back of the chapter first. I do. I always look at the back of the chapter for like the summary, this to kind of get the high points or the things I really should be focusing on. And that's exactly what the takeaways are. This helps you literally, it's like Cliff Notes, literally hone into the content, and it brings it to your mind when you're reading the content. Hey, this is pretty important. I might want to take note of that, jot something down, highlight it in, however you're doing in the text or whatever the situation is. Also, Nursing Foundation flashcards. These I thought were so cool. I actually went through a couple of the cards. Collaboration. So what does collaboration mean to you? Well, if you know it, say it and let's see if you're correct. It's working together with the interprofessional team to benefit the client. And this is the kind of language we're going to use. So you'll see nursing terminology. Let's go to the next card and see what it shares. Code of Ethics for Nurses. So if you read the chapter, you can test yourself. Well, what is that? Well, if you're not sure, let's go see what the answer is. Well, it's ANA Rules for Professional Behavior of Nurses. And then so forth and so on. Let's just do one more. Advocacy. Advocacy, you'll hear me saying over and over again throughout the course. What is it? Being a nurse advocate is supporting the client or speaking up for your client's needs and anything else in general that has to do with your client. So this is another way you can test yourself. So you can see, I showed you about 4 or 5 ways you're actually self-testing while you're reading the chapter. So this is what's so fabulous about this. Glossary. Now, through these different chapters, you're going to have nursing terminology that you may have never heard before. Here's that advocacy again. And we can go down and, just keep moving along. But here, evidence-based practice. Now, let's say you were an ESL learner and wasn't sure how to pronounce these words. Well, you can just push the...
Evidence-based practice.
There you go. Sometimes this chapter isn't so bad when it comes to pronunciation. When you get into other chapters, especially for the skills, for Karatakov sounds, for your blood pressure, you will have a little bit more difficulty. Okay, so let's go back into that study. Let's go back to this tab that I had started. This runs you through the application to practice. I'm back in that walkthrough. Application to practice is huge. That's what it's all about. We're learning the content so we could apply it to practice, and that's what that means. They are in the actual vital sign chapter, and it's highlighting different things that you would want to look for. And this is exactly what I just shared with you. Now, when you get into these chapters with skills, they will have access to videos, checklists. It'll show you how to document the takeaways I just showed you. And then, of course, you're going to submit that post-test for grading. When you're ready, you'll find the practice tests associated with each module. I mentioned this at the beginning, but this is where you would begin that test. That post-test that we have listed in the actual course schedule, this is where you find it. You can begin the test. Now, you can retest yourself as many times as you want, and that shows up, and I'll show you that in a second. Once you complete your test, you will see an individual performance profile, which you can download. I mean, personally, I don't think you need to download it. It's here. You can go to it anytime you want. That's just extra work. You just download the actual proof of completion. Now, if you notice, this shows you the time spent in each module. Now, I will share with you, I look at this. Because if you're asking me a lot of questions in class, and I go back and look and you spent 3 minutes in the module, well, you obviously don't understand the content because you didn't review the content. So I urge you to review the content. And then you might want to go back and remediate. Let's say you took the test and you're really not happy with your score. You do have to wait an hour before you can go back and remediate because they'll show you what you did not do well. They don't tell you the actual questions you got wrong. The ATI gives you a kind of a readout of the content that you need to review. So you would go back and review the content, and then you can retake the test. So I just want you to know you are not being judged on what you earn on the test. I am really looking at the application of your time and effort. Lastly, we talked about the units. Oops, I have all kinds of fun stuff up. Let's see if we can get back to, let's close this. So that's how you would close your chapter. Let's get back to the My ATI. Because when you, here you go. See, that's what I was working on last, so it always brings up the module that you were working on last. So what I want to show you is, now these are the units for Engage Fundamentals. These are all foundational units. And you notice, which many of you already did, oh geez, I can't find that. You had to do drop downs. Foundations, this is where the communication was, right? A little further down. Nope, wasn't this one. Well, I'll tell you, see what I just did? I went, oops, it wasn't this one. Oh, maybe it's in this one. Oh, here it is. So I did something to make your life look a little easier. I actually aligned the lessons with the units in a document. So I'm going to post this in the announcements, and you will have this. I suggest that you download it, and you can keep it with yourself while you're going through the course schedule, or you're actually in the Blackboard modules. So I hope this helped you out a little bit. Oh, one more thing. Don't check out yet. I want to show you one more thing when it comes to the modules. In the course schedule, we close this out, and you notice that above My ATI, you can come down here, and there's Learn, there's Test, and Improve. We'll talk about some of these later, but I just want to look at Apply very quickly, because you will see as early as Module 3, or Week 3, you will be assigned a Skills module inside here. Now, this is in the Apply tab. This is a little different and separate from what you're used to seeing. That you're used to seeing in the Engage. So you want to look at these modules, and these modules open up, and they have, they also drop downs. And I believe in that particular module, you're going to see infection control. Here we are. And you would have been assigned to that particular module. So I just want you to know, as you familiarize yourself with this, I don't expect for you to be pros. Just focus on the week at hand, and we will talk about this more as we move forward. But when you see something like this, Learn More, I would definitely open up that Learn More, because it's kind of like a mini Google inside here that just really guides you and walks you through the whole resource. So I hope you found this helpful, and I will see you soon.